What's up, guys? We got the new Camp Fold drop. It's live. We got new shirts, the championship ring shirt, the all-team t-shirt. As you can see how it looks on my guys here. We got the new shorts just in time for the summer, and we got plenty different colorways. The website is live. We have a discount code that you can get 2 items and you get a 15% discount. The code is CF2023. Use that at checkout. Yeah, man, just go cop that, man. We've been working real hard to get this different quality, man. We got the tags on there and everything.
Yes,
this ain't a hang shirt, man.
Yes,
go
sir.
get that. We
Yes,
work real
sir.
hard on these. Website's live.
Cardio family!
Ooh.
Yes!
I've seen this.
You seen this?
Did I send this to the group chat?
I don't know.
I think maybe.
No,
This is
I
a good
did.
video.
So the Breakfast Club got exposed in their own racism. Oh,
Yeah.
Breakfast Club exposed to racism. Yeah. Well, Vivek can do it. So Vivek lit him up.
Vivek, tell him up, man.
Hey, I wouldn't have let Vivek. I would have started debating
This-
Vivek. I would have knew
That's
that
the same-
he knows his shit.
It's the same Breakfast Club with your body said.
Yeah.
You ain't black
You know it is.
if you don't vote for me.
There it is. Okay. Well, I'm very interested to see what Vivek has to say on this. This is gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
Hold on, what BET
I
on
love
Breakfast Club?
I do disagree on what you said about affirmative action because I feel like
Fair
without that legislation, I don't think black people stand a chance. We had to create the legislation to even have a chance. And I don't know why you have faith that without that legislation, things will be fair or on equal footing for black people.
I think that the right way to do this is actually ensure equality of opportunity, educational access at an early age, which, by the way, we don't have in this country, starting at an actual young age. How about doing that in a way that's agnostic to race? That way we prevent seeing one another on the basis of a color of our skin, but we actually solve the real inequalities that we have when it starts with inequality of opportunity, starting with education. So my view is, I think my approach is actually going to be more successful in lifting up more black Americans than have been the Lyndon Johnson approach of actually using race-based quota systems.
What does agnostic mean in that sentence?
Who was Lyndon
'Cause I don't
Johnson?
like agnostic. as
Lyndon
a
Johnson
religion.
was
He's
the
a
president. That was the
Lyndon B.
president.
Johnson.
That was right before
Oh.
Nixon. The president right before
Lyndon
Nixon.
B. Johnson.
I think he was the one that signed the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And stuff.
I think you're right. The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Yes.
All right, so I want to see what Vivek has to say. Like, what is his ideas?
He broke it down pretty good.
He's saying,
Educate people from a young age.
Yeah.
and he's saying,
But
you
how
know,
are you going to do that? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
that's on the
That's
parents
interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see. Like,
and
how?
programs.
Okay, maybe better access to education or something.
But I'm gonna keep it 100. It's a lot of programs that's kind of out there already in our world that helps with that. Like the Boys and Girls Club, they got like all type of
Yeah,
clubs.
but like, how young of an
Boys and
age?
Girls Club is like an actual after school program. I feel like
But like
I was in that.
during the summer, it's like a whole day of school.
Oh, we gotta let it break it down.
It's like summer camp.
Yeah.
That's what I used to work in one of those. It's just like activities and stuff.
I feel like kids learn at a pretty young of an age. You go to pre-K pretty early, so I don't
No, kids
understand.
learn quick.
Well,
Well, smarter than you think.
I got some reason. Let's see.
Kids are sponges and they're impressionable.
So let's see. Let's see if he breaks it down.
Mention, the pride of being an American, and it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way,
Thank
for
you.
the United States Air Force. So when
great.
is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020.
Okay, so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years you sat around and did not get involved at all in any civic engagement? Is that my understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspectives. I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. So let's go deeper into the self-reflection. So you sat around and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't take anything a
And you don't
hard
even
way.
have to be. And you don't even
Yeah.
have to be. So take it
Yeah.
off and let's
Well,
go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years. Your parents came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions.
I'm
according
sorry,
to
bro. I
your
can't. I got body. But
resume
you just pissed me off,
for
bro.
this country.
He's Indian, bro. They whole people
Hold on,
just got to the side,
I got
He's
to
Native American. I mean, Indian like Native American. Or no, he's not. He's Indian like
India.
India.
I thought he was Native American.
Hell no.
His last name is Ramaswamy.
Oh
tweaking. Oh my God, I didn't hear her say that though. I was thinking about what Vivek Ramaswamy said.
I want to hear it.
Yeah, I didn't hear her say anything about her ancestors.
Middle Eastern descent, I believe.
I didn't hear her say anything about ancestors.
No, she.
You didn't hear her?
Different perspectives. I'm very honest about that.
Okay, no problem. So let's go deeper into the self-reflection.
My people made.
So you sat around for, and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't take anything
And
a
you don't
hard
even
way.
have to be. And you don't even have to be. So take it off and let's go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years. Your parents came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions, according to your resume, off of this country, and you have absolutely not been involved in civics. One, not voting, and two, let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take any leadership role? Because your opponent did, Chris Christie, he was the class president. So have you ever taken any leadership at all on anything, or just?
Can I just correct a couple factual things that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country. I was born in this country, and I'm proud of that.
No, I know you were born here in Ohio.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned my parents brought me.
I'm saying your parents were immigrants. My apologies.
You know, and that's all right. You said your parents brought you over to this country. I thought I would set that record straight.
I mean, they were immigrants, but let's not go down the water hole.
No, we're not going to water hole. I just want to correct a couple facts. And then the other thing is,
you were born here in Ohio.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's right.
Right. So you've been here your entire life. So the question is, did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president? Tennis. What is it? Explain it to us.
Student council. But you know, I think that this is yes, I've held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
No, it kind of does.
Okay,
it kind of does. I'm giving the test. I'm the test administrator.
All right, there you go.
So it kind of does, because when you go from saying I want to go to the highest office,
and I'll tell you, I've led companies as well. Is the other leader?
Right,
the main leadership role I played is, and I want to talk about one early part of your premise that I also want to say, bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. You know, I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today, one of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated, 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration, another one for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize for making contributions. But
right, well, I don't want you to filibuster into that, because that's not the question that I asked, and I don't consider, as a veteran, I'm talking about service. I'm not talking about what you did for profit. I'm not talking about what you paid people to do with your company. I'm not talking about
I've not served the country
because that means nothing to me.
You do
what I'm talking, what
that
to
means
ask a question. She's been trying to ask a question, and you've been talking over.
I'm all ears.
We gave you the platform to let you say.
I'm all ears. I'm all ears. No, I was just correcting a couple facts.
She hasn't had a chance to
That's
ask a
all.
question yet. Every time she tried to ask a question, you've been cutting her off. Go ahead.
I'm all ears.
What?
You're trying to raise the standard, and you're saying you want people to believe in country, and you want people to have civic engagement. And sir, I just find it very telling that you haven't had any civic engagement at all, and haven't been at all. And when I say sit around, I don't mean you haven't done anything. I'm talking about in regards to service. Because one thing about political office, the same way that you want to change how people look at politics and look at this country, I want to change how people look at politicians. And when I see that someone hasn't did anything at all to be of service to mankind, to take a leadership role. It's not good enough to just be on city student council. Were you a leader? All of that applies. Have you been able to get anybody in the room at any time, from a high school gymnasium to Ohio, Republican leadership there, to now? Have you been able to get anybody in a room to believe in this vision? I don't agree with a lot of your vision statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the point.
We done, man. We done, man. We done, man. It's a race. We done. I'm pissed.
All right, slow your roll, brother.
This shit's insane. DJ Envy ain't did shit. Charlamagne ain't did shit.
Besides
interview.
increase the subculture.
That's all they have done. Who is she? I ain't gonna lie. From right now, just off this certain clip.
She's a veteran.
Every clip that I've heard from
So
Vivek
they just had her just come talk. I never seen her at all on the Breakfast Club.
If I see Vivek Ramaswamy name on that booth, I'm like Jakey. Hey man, Vivek Ramaswamy, bro. I'm checking that. He got the vibe check. I feel like I could chill with Vivek Ramaswamy. Like,
And like they talking him crazy, and he like,
He's a thank you.
cool. He's
Bring it on. This nigga said he make medicine.
You remember how the New York governor was acting when they was talking to him? And he was just the opposite. He was talking to me, I don't care, this and
Hey,
that.
Donald Trump, have you ever had been in student council in middle school?
Yeah, that was
high
one
school?
thing.
In middle school.
You were calling Chris Christie.
In the 8th grade, were you the Stuco president?
Would demolish her for saying that shit. Man, he'll probably cancel him. Get your dumb ass off this interview. Yeah, you don't ask very right questions. Man, I ain't gonna lie, this is terrible.
This is embarrassing.
This is, oh my gosh. Okay,
Can we finish?
Oh, it's
hard. See what they talking about.
Of the United States, you're skipping over city council, county council, mayor, governor. You want to go straight to the top. So my question is: this a PR? Is statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the practical. You're trying to go from preschool to president of the United States. You're skipping over city council, county council, mayor, governor. You want to go straight to the top. So my question is: this a PR? Is this for the PR, the perception of reality, or can you point to any leadership where you've been able to get people to believe in what you're talking about that they're not paid to do? On any of these vision statements that you have. If not, then to me it's a moot point because you're holding a standard that you haven't met yourself.
So if you're only going to count government service, you're absolutely
No, not government
right.
service.
Okay.
Student council in the 8th grade. Were you a leader? Did you do anything to rally anybody? Did you fight for better learning? 6th grade with Miss Harris. I'm not talking about government. I can go all the way back from the 5th grade every year, sir, because people who are in service to this country, if you're going to go around saying you want people to believe in this country that I signed up to die for, then I want to make sure that you're holding that same standard. So not government, not political. Let's not get it confused. I'm saying, have you did anything of service that we can point to say he is a good leader, like Chris, and I'm not even a fan of Chris Christie, but he was the student council president in high school. So have you done anything of service besides yourself that has not benefited yourself? It's just a simple question.
Brother,
He messed up. Look how he
you
looked.
played that off, but that was an accident.
I fell on purpose, bro. I just really can't believe this shit, man.
So being a CEO or creating a company from ground up, that don't qualify you as a leader?
But in 5th grade, you were the Stuco president.
Yeah, bro. I was handling no money at all. I had to teach us.
You could have had social anxiety in elementary or middle school and just been smart.
But we talking about a 12-year-old kid. You're not serving this country as a 12-year-old child?
God.
You don't care about yourself an American.
What?
Your family brought you over here?
You know, bro.
That my ancestors built?
My ancestors built.
Actually,
let them talk about it. You ain't built.
I actually ran for president in 5th grade. I got second to this Indian girl.
Hey, so she was you be the president.
That's what I'm saying. You think I'm on the level of Swami?
According to her logic, because he beat him over Bibi.
Like, what is wrong with you, lady? Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
So the acts of service that I have performed are small, so small that I don't even want to talk about them to boast. But yes, have I volunteered for this country? Yes, I have. I've always been interested in
let's talk
healthcare.
about it. It's okay to talk about the small things. I think
these are small things, right? But thank you.
Oh, well, let's just mention it.
Bethesda North Hospital.
So it's really a no?
No, it's not a no. It's just something I don't like boasting about. I
Well,
volunteer.
we're not boasting. It's an interview. You're boasting on your vision and everything else.
I think
you're
you
boasting
want-
on the millions of dollars that you make. So let's just throw it out. So in 6th grade, I'll give you an example. I'll help you out. In 6th grade, Miss Harris.
tell you-
Shut your ass up about 6th
Let me
grade.
give you an example because maybe you're confused. In the 6th grade, Miss Harris was snatching papers from everybody in the classroom. So me as a 10-year-old, I went to the principal and said, I'm tired of Miss Harris snatching papers. And I organized the students around getting Miss Harris to stop snatching papers. Now, there was a consequence for that. I got suspended for 5 days for talking back, and I got in trouble. I got a spanking, and I was on punishment for months and months. But that is a simple way of organizing people. So you did the millions of dollars and said what you did with the pharmaceutical companies. What leadership can you point to that you've been able to rally anybody around anything that is did not pay anybody to do? I think that's important for the next president of the United States.
Sure. So I've always been drawn to healthcare. That's why I ended up founding companies in that space. When I was in high school, part of what drew me into it was that I was a volunteer at a local hospital. I actually became the leader of a group of volunteers that actually discharged women who had recently given birth. That was it. Nothing big to it.
Did you do anything we can point to stand out?
But I want to say something about that because I say that in the book. If I'm being really honest, why did I do that in high school? A part of the motivation, I'll be just brutally honest with you, was part of the motivation was that's actually what allows you to get into a good college when you graduate.
Right, so it was about you.
So it was about self.
It was a
I'm admitting that.
Why are we listening to 3 interviewers who have no accomplishments whatsoever besides being personalities on the internet or like on the radio, grill a man who's founded companies and make successful medicines and make billions and millions of dollars, and they try to hold him to a higher standard when her claim to fame is being a veteran. No, it's not saying that's not a crazy thing, and then the other people. The other 2 guys are DJ, what's his name?
DJ Drama and
Never heard of fucking DJ Envy outside the Breakfast Club. You're a DJ. Anybody can be a DJ, no disrespect. And anybody can get a talk show like Charlemagne. So why are they trying to hold him to this exceptional standard and tell him that he's not qualified to be the president when if we went resume versus resume, I'm sure he's cleaning their ass up. And then they'll bring people on here, on this platform, on this show, that are idiots and just famous in rap and praise them. Oh, you're so bright, man. You
can't say that.
We can say that.
They be wrong niggas out on this.
Okay, but they also bring dummies on here. Man, that was awesome what you did, man.
Y'all forgot
the rap album about killing 30 dudes is so awesome, bro. But this guy who made millions of dollars is not good enough to be the president because he wasn't in Stuco in 5th grade.
I can't say that.
I can say that, bro.
Multiple people have beaten these motherfuckers' ass on this.
Okay, and that
they also be beat right too.
They do, bro. They do.
They
beat right degenerate people that make degenerate promotions, and they get on here and promote them, but they trying to grill this man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I may be a little biased. I'm gonna have some bias because I respect what he does more than what they do.
No, they is tweaking though.
I'm beyond angry with this lady at this point.
I don't really like her. Like I rally people in my 5th grade class about snatching papers and got home, got my butt beat. But that's just an example of my rallying skill. You a clown, bro.
I'm still cool with
you a clown, bro.
DJ Envy just lost all my respect.
Man, they all weird.
Man, that's why Rick Ross be on his ass now.
DJ Envy's weird for that, bro. She's literally been talking 80% of the time. Bro, you cut her off, bro. What?
Better than me.
Oh my
God.
better than me.
Very few other people do, but I got to be honest about it. That was a big part of why I did it.
Yeah,
when
it
I
was about
graduated-
self, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to give it back to the guys. I'm going to be honest about it with you.
Yep.
Leadership is not about self.
I agree with you on that.
What I just heard is that everything is about you, and to be honest with you, this is just a PR campaign, sir, to be honest with you. And I think you're trying to go further to the right because you want the Republicans to accept you as a man of color. And I think the only way you think you can do that is to be so extreme
I appreciate your opinion.
with your positions. And
oh yeah.
And I think you need to do a little bit more work in service. I'll give it back to you.
Ask me a question, and then you guys said you wanted to hear a response, but I think I heard an expression of opinion.
In the Air Force.
You can. I'm not gonna discredit being a veteran, but you can go join the military at 18.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it. Literally anybody can go sign up. All you have to do is have a clean record. So if that's all you've done in your life.
99.
Now, do you heard? Did she hold any leadership positions
in the military?
In the military, did she have any?
She could have said,
did she do anything? But
a chief or something.
Bro, lots of people sign up.
Just the way she communicates, she don't seem.
She's very combative.
99.98% people can't do what Vivek is doing right now.
No, Vivek.
99% people can do what you're doing,
I'm not gonna
lady.
sit here and put Vivek on a pedestal, but like I do like Vivek, but I'm just gonna keep it 100. Like before she grew him, what have you done as a leader?
Oh God!
All she said is, I got whooped in 5th grade for organizing a teacher for snatching her papers. Completely irrelevant.
I gathered people.
Second off, all she said is, I was in the military. I signed up to die for a block. Were you deployed? Did you hold any?
And then she make it like
leadership positions?
Like she just loved America. Or was you trying to come up too?
Yeah, you were probably broke as hell, had no money. This was saving your life. This was a life raft for you.
She said Vivek.
Now you think you're
she
somebody.
Vivek, like his accomplishments he did, like the leadership stuff he did wasn't valid because he did it to help himself to get his resume up.
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
In the military to help yourself.
I'm sorry. Bro, I'm keeping it 100. Everything I've done that put on my resume is of self-service.
That's what it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be. Like, I'm keeping it 100.
What have you done for America?
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's keep it 100. I was in the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. I was the VP. I didn't join that
for America.
For America. That was because I wanted to be the VP. I wanted to go around and say, I'm the VP.
She ain't have no role in the military. She probably, I want to know what her OMS.
I wouldn't say that. I didn't say 99% people could do the Air Force.
I'm not keeping it 100. A lot of people can't do that, but I'm just keeping it 100. Anybody can sign up and say they did it, but what did you do? Why? She wanna say, well, you made millions of dollars in creative medicine. That's irrelevant to me. Okay, well, you in the Air Force is irrelevant to me. Let's break it down. What leadership positions did you hold? What did you accomplish in the military? What were you deployed? Because you talking about you signed up to die. Were you in battle? Did you operate any type of craft? Like, let's flip it around on you.
God, my mama owned a building in the military.
And then since you're out of the military and you trying to get on here and grill people talking about stuff when you do you have any formal education? Have you accomplished anything since being out of the military?
We can grill her ass.
No, she probably got
I'm just thinking about with Vivek, how when Vivek left the interview, he probably was like, I just don't know how these niggas, people
ain't no hope.
No, I ain't gonna lie. There's a better clip. Ain't no hope. There's a better clip. The one I sent, we gotta do that one.
Bro, I know he probably left it with just like, I just don't know how these all these people, what are they called? People that's running?
Campaign.
Yeah. What are they? No, it's not a campaign. It's
the campaigners? I was gonna say, the runners. The runners?
Broadcast Little guys, alright. We're gonna finish this shit, because this shit's absurd. Okay, let's finish this.
I ain't gonna lie, this low key making me high.
I just don't really like her disposition like this whole time. She's very combative. She's very like aggressive. She keeps attacking him and poking holes in everything he says because it's not what she wants to hear. And I don't think she's provided any relevant thing to support her argument or establish her credibility. Like, yeah, you're doing the interview, but I don't like your attitude. I don't know who you are, so you're not speaking for black people or me. I know this is a black platform owned by BET with black people on it, but I don't agree with any of these people or resonate with any of them. So I just don't understand.
That was the words I'm looking for. I don't know how. Vivek left. I don't know how these candidates deal with all these black folks. Leaving this platform, I wouldn't want to go back to a black platform because this was just insane questions. You talking to me about
middle school?
All right.
You talking about the past?
Found that clip. You found that clip?
Yeah, I found it.
Is it in another group chat?
Yeah.
You talking about the past?
Give it back to you guys. Let me ask, because
she did ask me a question, and then you guys said you wanted to hear a response, but I think I heard an expression of opinion. So just, I want to make sure you're all done before I respond to it.
No, just wanted to say that even then, I would still want you to point out, even at the hospital, something that you did that made you stand out on when actually taking a leadership role. But you already answered it. You said you did it because it was a motivation to get in college.
Exactly.
Which means it was
I'm
about
very
you.
honest about that. But
everything has been about you. So as a veteran,
let me tell you something. I appreciate
it's very hard for me to follow leaders that make everything about them. So you might want to work.
Nobody thinks about bettering America in middle school or high school. I don't think anybody even thinks about it, period. Unless you just get an older adult and like, I think that I can run and help America.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really start thinking about how better America could be and like how you could push America forward until now.
To like college.
Until I got older and I started like realizing stuff and how things affect me as a young adult.
Yes.
College is the only place you start thinking about that.
Because it's a lot of veterans and Republicans, so you might want to work on that talking point and maybe do some volunteering while you're on the campaign trail. I'm going to give it back to Charlamagne and Envy.
Once I want to be respectful. Want to make sure you got everything you wanted to on the table before I respond.
If this was just us, it'd be a lot more.
You guys tell me. I'm the guest on your show. You tell me when I'm good to speak.
Go ahead.
You sure about that? If we're good.
Yeah, we're sure.
So I think there's a different worldview that we have. And I think the worldview is how one actually makes contributions in a country. I do not believe that there's a separate category of just if you're serving the country and then if you're acting in self-interest, that's somehow sinful or wrong. I reject that vision.
I agree.
To the contrary, I think capitalism is the best system known to man to lift people up from poverty. I deeply respect and I thank you for your service to this country. I'm grateful for it. I haven't served the country in the way that you have. But I think that the way you get ahead in capitalism, how did I develop a multi-billion-dollar biotech company? It was by developing medicines that save people's lives.
A lot of people say capitalism causes poverty.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that. I think that capitalism demands that you provide something to someone that helps them more than you're actually charging them for it. That's the only way.
That's a business model, sir. That's not
service. It is a business model. It's not. I'm not saying
that's not service.
I'm saying it's having an impact on society.
An elected official is service. That's the disconnect.
That's right. So now I'm moving on to there are phases of our lives where we do different things.
Well, you're moving straight all the way up to President of the United States.
You know, I don't view it as a hierarchy. I don't view it as a hierarchy. I don't believe in hierarchies. The hierarchy is the way the bureaucracy works. I don't believe in so we have a difference in opinion.
You also don't believe in service, and that's where we're having a disconnect.
Well, I disagree with you on that. I just disagree with you on that.
This was so painful.
Man, what
This
the
hurt my
fuck?
heart
What?
watching this, bro.
I just don't really like. I don't really like her disposition the whole time. She's very rude and brash, and she's kind of aggressive.
Oh, God.
She's very dismissive of everything he said. Like every time he tried to say something and it wasn't what they wanted to hear, they cut him off. And then envying them. Well, you're being defensive. You won't even let her talk. What? Come on, bro.
I didn't think about Scott Adams. When Scott Adams hit that face. I gotta put the Scott Adams meme on
Yeah,
here.
we might need to hit that. He hit the.
Scott Adams said,
He said no.
look, just stay away from him. Now, this right here was actually the most painful clip I might have actually watched on every thigh. We have 1,000 videos on this channel now. This is the most painful video I've ever watched.
Nah, this was sickening. I feel like these dudes are tweaking on the Breakfast Club, bro.
Uh,
Usually Charlamagne would say something.
Wait, bro.
I realized Charlamagne is being quiet because usually he the one that always speak his opinion. So he probably agree.
Yeah, I like Charlamagne. Charlamagne's funny, you know. He be
Usually Aaron might be going his ass.
DJ Envy, I like DJ. I didn't have
He
any
did some
problem with
hoe-ass
it,
shit.
but DJ Envy just tweaked right there. I never had a problem with him at first though, but that was a bad tweak. But yeah, I actually want to see this clip. America is the last best hope. I can absolutely blame white supremacy 100%. Wow. Okay. Well, let's go and get to this clip.
I physically have seen a woman in a higher position in the military telling people what to do. Say, that's over with. Where's my paperwork? Go get this. That's over with.
That's
So-
leadership. But even then, you still don't know if you're ready to lead the country. To me, I want a businessman running the country.
Me too.
I want somebody that can just put stuff in position and make the country better. If you're just a leader, just because you're a leader don't mean you're a good businessman. I mean, it can lead to that, but it doesn't mean that you're just qualified to lead the country, man. So everything she literally said, I didn't agree with not one.
She's just asking, had he ever had any service positions? And I agree, that has some relevance.
Yeah, I mean,
You think so?
I mean, just like how she was tying it back to elementary school, that's completely irrelevant. And her example of what she's done was also completely irrelevant. It was also useless and a horrible example of leadership. But I do believe that in some capacity, having some sort of leadership before being elected the leader of the free world is somewhat relevant, for sure.
But I feel like for a business, it's almost on that level because like America is a corporation.
I completely agree, and I personally feel like if you founded a company, you led your vision until and he made multi-billion dollars. That's a business. You created something. You created a company and employed people and saved people's lives and create a product that is patented and FDA approved and sold. That takes leadership and vision, and it takes grit to get to that point, in my opinion. So personally, I think that is a good substitute for not having
that on your resume.
Yeah, I think that's a good substitute for not having a formal leadership experience. And at 37 years old, to have to say if you made multi-billion-dollar company from nothing, is a lot more relevant than you saying that I was a veteran with no.
And that's why people was immigrants. Because people was an immigrant, so that make it even more like. Yeah, you got this from the mud.
Yes, I completely agree. She's talking about he's acting out of self-interest. I don't think that's a wrong
It's
thing.
the same thing. Their resume is Trump.
I completely agree. I completely believe that acting in self-interest is how you get ahead until you have some sort of foundation to stand on.
Yeah, man.
Until you achieve something great, you have to act out of self-interest. If everyone in this room try to pull up everybody with them and you probably wouldn't be where you at right now. Let's keep it 100. So I think that argument is completely bogus.
Yeah, man, it's insane. I just think if we had an application and not a resume, basically, and we were looking at the resumes to see who we gonna vote for, a man with a multi-billion-dollar company, I might be voting for him. And he's articulate, he's a nice guy, he's keeping it real. That's good for me. But somebody that's just a leader and else in the military and stuff like that, I'm like, okay.
And I also believe that a lot of politicians do a lot of things that are morally questionable. So a guy who's coming with a clean slate and is proven to be a guy who can be successful and is, like you say, articulate, smart, and has good policies, I think I lean towards him before I lean towards a 60-year-old politician who probably has done some things that are extremely questionable.
I see Vivek name on that ballot, bro.
I'm just messed up.
I'm leaning toward Vivek.
Y'all want to know what messed me up the
Vivek
most? They did not crucify Joe like this on this bitch.
They didn't, bro.
That's just
and you know why? It's because he's a Democratic candidate. Because these black platforms only show love like that to Democrats. If they brought Candace Owens or somebody black and far right on here, they would try to crucify her.
That shit's so
they need to do that.
She would probably come on here and say something relevant, and then they would be the cool platform, and they would come on here, well, you're this and that, you're a sellout, and then
She gonna say, y'all don't even know who started the Ku Klux Klan.
All right, let's see what this about said. What he says about white supremacy.
Actually, Charlemagne said something.
Say more, and then I'll respond to that.
I mean, absolutely blame white supremacy. 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
See, say more, and then I'll respond to that.
I mean, just look at the history of the country. Like, it's just really just that simple for me. The country has never fulfilled its promises of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. It's always been freedom, liberty, and justice for some. And usually that some is white people.
So here's what I would say in response to that. That is obviously true that the nation has fallen short of our promise since our founding. But walk through some obvious facts about America. We're not founded on an ethnicity or a monarch or a food or even a religion. We're founded on a set of ideals that brought a group of people together in 1776, and we live by those ideals. At least we aspire to those ideals today. A nation that aspires to ideals that's not made up of gods, but made up of human beings, will always fall short of those ideals. So I think our worst hypocrisies as a country, our worst hypocrisies are our best evidence that we have ideals at all. You take a look at other countries. Nobody ever calls the Chinese Communist Party a hypocrite, or China a hypocrite, or Iran a hypocrite. Why is that? Because to be a hypocrite, you at least had to have ideals in the first place.
But a lot of
and so we're imperfect, but we are about the pursuit of a more perfect union, the pursuit of happiness. America's about the pursuit. And so I think that trashing ourselves, I think we are actually.
I say that because, we never were included in those ideals originally.
Originally. Yeah. But never and not originally are two different things. Originally, that's true. Over 250 years of progress, if you had somebody who was in 1870 looking at the world we live in today, if you had somebody in 1960 who was looking at the world we live in today as it relates to race in America, we would be darn close to what they would have thought of as the promised land. So I think we have to recognize that America is about that pursuit. We're a lot further along than we were 250 years ago. And here's the other thing too, we got to set our expectations. We will always fall short of our ideals. By definition, if there are human beings and not gods living in a nation that aspires to ideals, we are fallen. Man is fallen. That's what makes us who we are. But what also makes us different from animals is that we have ideals. So America's founded on our humanity, that we can believe and aspire to something that we will still fall short of. That's what makes this country beautiful. And that's why I'm in this. You ask me, why am I in this? I care about reviving pride in that nation, because if we get into the habit of just bashing that country, what are we bashing? We're bashing the last best hope that man has for aspiring to those ideals. Tell me who else has done better. I'll wait.
Hey, nah, bro.
He was spitting.
He's him.
I ain't gonna lie. Trump might be over with for me. This nigga right here.
I like Trump, but man.
It is.
He going crazy. I need to see, I need to watch, something on him,
he's a beast.
Him really speaking out, oh my gosh, man. 'Cause these interviews have been insane.
No, he's a beast, bro.
He is a beast for real, bro.
That was so, eloquently said.
How did he even think about saying it like that? I didn't heard him say
Let's get that straight off the dome. On the spot.
He said, we're men. We're gonna always fall short. This was built by God.
Hey, no. Charlemagne had nothing to say. He was like, we weren't included in those ideas. He said originally. He said originally and never are two different things. And over 250 years of progress, if you had someone in 1870 to look at the world we live in today, we'd be damn close to what they dreamed of as the promised land.
Nigga, they even said we spoiled.
Boy.
My grandma said, she said, baby, you the only one I ever seen really took advantage of every opportunity.
Look where Charlemagne was sitting there, the damn nice head gold chair. Talking about we wasn't in them ideas. Nigga, you posted up in a crown chair. You weren't doing. Look where you at.
I can't say we did miss out on some opportunities, but I can't look at what other nigga. I'm trying to kill it. I'm trying to kill it.
Well, this was insane, man. Shout out to Vivek, man. The Breakfast Club, they kind of. That interviewer, I ain't gonna say everybody exposed themselves, but the interviewer, she needs to be off all platforms for that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of her attitude.
That was insane. Y'all let us know what y'all think about Vivek, guys. And hit us on Instagram. Let us know what y'all think in the comments.